All right, in this video, we're going to be going over the Kennel Command. Now, we use the Kennel Command to teach casting, but in the beginning, we use it simply to just get the dog acclimated to the kennel. The kennel or crate is not only really a great cornerstone for, teaching your dog how to settle, getting kind of like a good delineation between time with the dog training and time with the dog resting and absorbing the training. So it's a very useful tool, but the kennel game that we're going to show right now is also a really useful obedience training tool. Come here. And we're going to show you how to use that. Now, the reason we're inside is because, remember, all of our obedience is going to be broken down into 3 parts. It's going to be housework, yard work, field work. If you're having trouble with distractions in the yard, you might take a simple action and do it or do it more in the house, right? Do more housework. If you're having trouble in the field, out at, say, like a park, you see some big issues start to come up over time, we're going to dial everything back and do more yard work, right? Yard work is controlled, a little more distractions than the house. The house is controlled with a little less distractions than the yard. When we're out in the field, we're testing things. We train in the field and then we test in the field. Come here, Reese. So remember that we're going to do one section of this video here in the house, housework. Then we're going to do another section of this video out in the yard, which is yard work. Good boy. Thank you for listening. He's ready to get to it. We take him out of the kennel and he's ready to work. So we're going to clip his leash on. Okay, that's the first thing we're going to do. Remember, you'll hear me say this a lot, the leash is your #1 training tool. I don't care what you're doing, have the leash with you. Even if you're going to be trying to train the dog off leash, have the leash with you. Thank you, sir. Have the leash with you, because in the event that your dog is having a hard time or you're struggling to connect or get results with your dog, you want to have the leash, okay? It's going to help you get success. It is your #1 training tool. So we start with the leash. We're also going to be using an e-collar. We're going to be using our e-collar on here. Now, we went over the e-collar a little bit, and while we will have a video specific to the e-collar, I want you to see how it's used in every scenario in case you decide to go with this. Now, again, I highly recommend you do go with this, but I can only show you what it does and the difference. So again, we're going to turn it on by touching this red dot here to the red indent here, right? When we touch them, boom, got green, we're ready to rock. We hold the L button, the light button on the back, and now we have our e-collar on. We're set to a 4 out of 100, okay? Now when we put it on the dog, come here, sit, Reese. Now we're gonna be putting it on the dog so that it sits behind his ear, here or here, right? We don't want it in the front of the dog on the fleshy part of the neck. We want it behind the ear, just like that, okay? When we put it on the dog, he's gonna be all cute and try to put his hand in your lap. No, we're going to put it on the dog and we're gonna use a 2-finger gap. Hey, knock that off. He's like, what are we doing? Why is this different? Down, good. 2-finger gap. It might feel a bit tight at the beginning, but it's not a big deal. We want to get the dog, we don't want the thing sliding around on his neck like crazy. So it's good to just have it on there, because they're gonna shake. They're gonna try to move it around. We don't want that, okay? So what's the kennel drill? We have the dog on leash. We have our e-collar here. Now, I'm gonna put my hand down like an out when I'm using the e-collar. You'll see my finger pulsing. When it stops pulsing, I'll do my hand open. That way you can see exactly what the e-collar is doing. But if you notice, I'll back this up a little bit. Now, all we're gonna do for this drill is simple. Sit. We're gonna ask for a sit. There are multiple versions of this. Sit. There are multiple versions of this game. One where we ask for a sit or a down, right? Get the dog into a compliant position and heel. And then we'll statically call the dog into the kennel and back to heel. So in that, we're working a sit, we're working a down, we're working a heel, a spin into heel, and we're working casting into the kennel forward, okay? When you get the dog back initially, I just want you to start basic, right? We're gonna put the dog on a leash, down, down, no. Come on, buddy, down. Down. I know we've been working a lot, but you gotta listen. Right now, down. Things like this will happen. Use the no command, keep your dog steady. We're gonna open up the kennel I might even take the door off the kennel in some scenarios because it will close like this. And we don't want that. So what I'll do instead for now is I'll simply, this is another thing we do, I'll simply use the leash to close up the kennel or keep the kennel door open. But you could always just take the kennel door off as well. So now we have the kennel, we have the door open, we've got our dog on a leash, come on, and we've got our e-collar in hand. Okay, Reese, sit. Good, Reese. Kennel. Good boy.